firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to hanging out with BWF Solicitors. I hope you're all doing very well. Um, Today, we've come your way again with another interesting topic. The topics we'll be discussing today is steps to applying for a job on the shortage occupation list in the UK. If you can send all your questions through our social media handles at BWF Solicitors. Please send in your questions if you have any questions or any contributions. I am your host, Vicky Newton, and with me is Eunice Achampong, a partner and also a solicitor at BWF Solicitors. If you'd like to call us live on this program, you can do so by calling me on 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619 711. I would love to hear from you. So, Lawyer Eunice, yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Vicky. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well by God's grace.
Good. Yes, Lawyer Eunice, before we came to the program, both of us are women. And you will agree with me that October is, Breast Cancer Month.
Yes.
So I would like you to tell us something about this Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Awareness Month.
To the updates.
Okay. So as we all know, I believe that most people are aware that the month of October is World Breast Cancer Month. And so awareness is being drawn to that specific area of cancer. And a lot of the time we hear that most times these things are preventable. So once you do your checks and you feel like you have a lump or there's anything under your arm or in your breast which is like a tumor, go and
Yeah.
check it out, because these should I say terminal illnesses can be prevented. And so the earlier you find out, the better it is. And so in general, a lot of women may not necessarily be drawn to checking these things out, but every October, as we know it, the government in the UK and other countries also try and show that awareness so that people will also do these checks as and when the need is. And of course, you have celebrities who have also spoken very much about
Yes.
how they've had these things detected very early on so that it doesn't spread throughout the body. And I myself have family members who have undergone treatment because of breast cancer. So, of course, this month being Breast Cancer Month, we are showing or highlighting the signs to look out for and how to check yourself out if there is any form or sign of cancer so that you can receive early treatment as a way of precaution. I'm just going to ask us, or should I say, give us some information in regards to
Right.
breast cancer. So, over here, we are saying that did you know that in 2020 there were 2.3 million women diagnosed with breast cancer? That is a large number of women, and
Wow.
over 665,000 deaths globally, with breast cancer surpassing lung cancer in most commonly diagnosed cancers. So that is a large
Love.
proportion of
Mm, mm,
people, should I say, with cancer. And it is important that we make ourselves aware that this is a serious illness, and the earlier it is detected, the more treatment that somebody can receive to prevent dying from such a horrific illness. And it's known as one of the main diseases that kills people around the world. So we all know that there's malaria, there's uh, other forms of terminal illnesses, but
illness.
cancer comes up as the number one terminal illness that kills a lot of people
Mm,
around the world. And so it is good that we raise awareness and that people get the early detection so that they can receive treatment in order to then go about doing what they know best how to do. So, yes, this is just a little bit of information in regards to our Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
yes. And one other thing too, we should also be aware of that men can also have breast cancer.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
But a
It's
few
not as
numbers.
common
We
as
also
women. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much for that, little education. Thank you so much. So, Eunice, let's straight, go into the updates before we, discuss today's topic.
Okay, so this week, in terms of our updates, I know that we have spoken a lot about HGV drivers
Yeah.
being allowed to come into the UK to, of course, take up some form of employment, but specifically this week, from Monday, which was the 11th of October, even though we've spoken a lot about it, this time round, the Home Office, or should I say, the Minister for Home Affairs within the UK, has made it part of our immigration rules that if you would like to come into the UK and be employed by any of the food agencies as a person who is an HGV driver, who would drive around food produce and other produce for other companies such as supermarkets. Now there is that concession made into law under our immigration rules. So previously it was something that they just put out there so that people would know, but now they've added it to the immigration rules such that if you are wanting to come into the UK as an HGV driver, it is part of our seasonal worker or temporary worker route under appendix temporary worker. So under that appendix, if you are a temporary worker or a seasonal worker, um, usually you'll be coming into the country for a period of at least 6 months. And
Months.
so somebody who would want to come as an HDV driver to carry around food produce will be coming into the country, but it will be for a limited period of up to I think it's up to the 28th of February of
Right.
next year. So instead of a whole 6 months, they would have up until the 28th of February on that visa. Of course, if you have a visa like that and you want to switch to any other routes, that is also available. And then, of course, the fuel subsidies that we had, they've also had that concession extended for those who are coming into the country as HGV drivers for the fuel that we said obviously there was a shortage of.
Yeah.
And so they have up until the 31st of March next year, 2022, if they would come into the country to obviously help with the fuel shortage. And so that in itself is good news for those of us who were thinking maybe we will not have enough fuel until Christmas.
So,
So that is also good news. And I know that with that one specifically, it is for those who are currently EU nationals and do not have visa, do not need a visa to come into the UK. And so it is specifically for those that are EU nationals and have a HGV license. And
license.
they also need to be endorsed by our Department of Business and Energy and Industrial Strategy before they can drive these vehicles as well. So yes, that is also something to look out for in terms of what the government have put in place for football Saturdays and the Christmas dinners that we are always looking forward to during Christmas. So that's a good one
Right. Right.
for all our families and homes that are
Mm.
looking forward to really eating a lot this Christmas.
Yeah.
But in terms of our EA nationals as well, of course, as we all know, the EU um, EEA family permit route was, should I say, expired or it had been invalidated by the 30th of June, 2021. And so a lot of people who made applications under the EEA route would have had to basically wait for a decision to be made, or they would have had to now think about how their family members will arrive in the UK because the UK government has said that by the 30th of June 2021, that route will no longer be available to EA national family members. And so a lot of people who made applications under that route and a lot of people who had made appeals under that route were now considering how their family members were going to come into the UK. And of course, a lot of family members now had to ask themselves and ask their lawyers to obviously write to the Home Office in regards to the fact that if the 30th of June deadline passed, how else would they be able to get their family members here in the UK? And so it was a good thing that once the Home Office received correspondence from a
Yeah.
lot of lawyers, it wasn't just maybe one lawyer or one case, but a lot of lawyers had to come together and put it to them that, of course, if, for instance, a case has been allowed by the Home Office and you haven't gone on to make further appeal, of course, you have to go by what the first year tribunal has said and grant whatever permits was allowed. And so the Home Office now saw that they had to now create some form of avenue for those who had applied under the EA family permit route. And so, as of last month, they started writing letters, and then, of course, the minister for UK immigrations also wrote to Parliament to inform them that yes, the EA family permit route ended by the 30th of June, but they have now created a concession outside of that so that those who were eligible or those who had decisions allowed by the first year tribunal will now be given EU settlement scheme
Okay.
family permits instead. So as of now, if you had a decision allowed and you haven't received correspondence that they are now going to grant EU settlement scheme status, yes, they are now going to grant EU settlement scheme family permits to all those who applied under the EA family permit route. So that is also something to look forward to um,
Okay.
for our EA family members. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. So, Laura Eunice, with today's topic, can you please give me some example of jobs that come under the shortage occupation list?
Okay, so in terms of our topic today, it's one of those topics that I asked myself, do you know what? A lot of people call a lot of the time to find out how they can apply to come to the UK, to come and live and work. And so, of course, it helps if people know, and then it helps to know which areas that need most, should I say, workers. And so I decided let's do a topic on the shortage of occupation
Mm,
job list so that people are more aware of areas to look out for if they were to
right.
do any search. And so, for instance, you have somebody who is saying, well, I have done a bit of teaching. And so, because I've done some teaching, I want to come into the UK as a teacher, for instance. And when you look at our .gov.uk website and you type in the shortage occupation list, it has a whole list on the website. And there are hundreds of jobs on that list. And so I'm just going to name a few. So, for instance, within the secondary school education sector, they are mainly looking for people who are maths teachers. They're looking for people that are physics teachers. They're looking for people that can teach IT, for instance, or can teach some form of modern language like French or German or Spanish or Italian,
Mhm.
any of those modern languages. And then they're looking to see if there are people within, for instance, the science sector. So people such as biologists, physiotherapists, um, people like lab technicians,
Yes.
people such as physicians. So they're looking for a general group of people because, as we all know, there's a great need in our health and care sector as well, and so most health and care sector jobs are also under the shortage occupation list. So we have the nurses, the medical doctors, the paramedics, the pharmacists, um, the care workers, all of those people also come under the shortage occupation list. And then in the technology industry, where you have a lot of people who are very good with programming. So, most of our apps and things like that are done by programmers.
Yeah.
And so those that are software programmers, those that are IT analysts, those that are Oliver.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Oliver. Right. I think we will go for a short break. An advert from BWF Solicitors will be right back. Please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP, just a short walk from Seven Sisters Underground. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, is also a qualified barrister and a member of the Ghana Bar Association. He has acted as an expert in court cases involving aspects of Ghanaian law. He has also advised local authorities, the official solicitor's office, and other solicitors on the intricacies of Ghanaian law, and is a regular contributor on the radio and TV on matters concerning Ghanaian law.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hanging Out with BWF Solicitors. I'm your host, Vicky Newton, and with me is Eunice Achampong, partner and solicitor BWF Solicitors. Before the break, we were talking about the topic steps to apply for a job on the shortage occupation list in the UK. Eunice was touching on, some example of jobs that falls under the occupation list, in the UK. So over to you, Lawyer Eunice.
Thank you so much, Vicky. So yes, I was saying that those within the technology industry as well, they are listed under the shortage occupation list. So you have people that are good programmers, software programmers, those that are very much into analytical things on when it comes to IT. You have people that are graphic designers, those that also are good architects, because architects don't just draw things on paper. They use softwares to also do these drawings and diagrams and whatnot. So all of these people come under the short occupation list as well. And then you have people that are into engineering, such as mechanical engineers, civil engineers, electronic engineers, electrical engineers. When I saw that, I was like, aren't they the same things? But there's a difference between the two of them. And so there is that wide range of jobs under our shortage occupation list. And so you can say that includes the sciences, the technology, the education industry, the engineering industry as well. And then, of course, the health and care sector as well. So you have quite a number of jobs that people can actually say, well, it looks like I might be able to find something that suits me under this list of jobs. And so, yes.
Okay. All right. So, Lawyer Eunice, to apply for such jobs, what are the eligibility requirements under the immigration rules?
So, in terms of making an application for a skilled worker visa, if you look generally at our appendix skilled worker, when it talks about you making an application, it doesn't necessarily differentiate between somebody who is applying as a shortage occupation
Right.
list worker and somebody who is a skilled worker. So it's all termed as skilled worker. And once a person has been able to find a job within the eligible occupation list that I was mentioning. And so every job that anybody can be sponsored for is a coded job. And so that job in particular has to carry a code in order for you to be sponsored. So if the job doesn't come under the eligible list, then unfortunately you cannot be sponsored for the job. And so you have to be able to find a job that is within the shortage occupation list. And of course, whoever it is that is making this application needs a job offer. And so looking for the job, I think, is one of the hardest bits, but it can also be one of the, should I say, most rewarding bits if you have somebody to help you or support you in that process. The number of times that some of us have gone on job searches and we are looking to see who we can apply to and whether you'll be able to get a job, and you put in your CV. Sometimes you don't get a response back. Sometimes you do, and it's not something that you were given. And so job searches are pretty difficult. They're not
Yeah.
easy, as I would say. So that is the most challenging bit out of everything else. And so if you are able to find a job and you are given the job offer, then that is the very first requirement that you would have to meet. So you have to be able to get a job offer in terms of the job that you are applying for. And then, of course, once you've gotten the job offer, you will be given a certificate of sponsorship. So the
Right.
company itself will have to be a company that is a sponsor. So they have to have a sponsorship license, like we said last week. So if the company or the business or the NHS institution or care home or school has a sponsorship license, they can then grant you a certificate of sponsorship.
Okay.
Saying that as well, before they even grant you a certificate of sponsorship, they will have to check and see that your skill level is the right skill level for the job that you are applying for. So, of course, because it is part of our points based system that you meet these requirements, having the job offer is meeting one point, but then you should also know that having the required skill level for the job is also having to meet another point in this points-based system. So they have said a skill level of 3 or above should be sufficient. But for whichever job you're applying for, they will have a required skill level. And so even though level 3 is the minimum, they might say that for this particular job, we need somebody with a skill level of 4 or 5, depending on what the job is. And so once you've been able to meet that skill level as well, that is another 20 points to the 20 points already that you already have for the job offer. And then, of course, you have to be able to speak English because you are
Yes.
going to be coming to a country where English is widely spoken. And so you have to use English to communicate. And so either you have an undergraduate degree that shows that you have been taught a subject which is in English, and then ECTIS, which is the new institution that assesses your English language, will also have to confirm that your certificate is one that has been said to meet the required qualification framework level. So either you meet a level B1 or a level B2 or level C1, which is higher. So whichever is higher, then of course you know that you have met the other requirement of being able to speak English.
Okay.
Of course, if you haven't got an undergraduate degree and you want to do an IELTS, you can also do an IELTS, which will then show that you have an English proficiency up to the level that they need you to have it for. And if you are also from an English speaking country, which obviously countries like Canada and Australia and Jamaica are part of, then of course you don't have to do any English speaking test or have a degree. Of course, once you've been able to show that you have these mandatory requirements, the fact that you are applying for a job which is under the shortage occupation list is 20 points in itself. And if you have that 20 points, including the other requirements I've just mentioned, then you are good to go. So, of course, the total number of points needed is 70. And if you are able to get 70 points, then you can obviously make the application to come into the country under whichever occupation you have applied for and have been given an offer to.
Now, Eunice, if someone coming from Africa with a degree certificate, is it acceptable in the UK?
So in terms
Yes.
of
Mm.
in terms of a degree that you have understudied, so if it's an undergraduate degree, if you are saying that you want that degree to be assessed to see if it will be acceptable, usually the first place that people will have a confirmation letter from will be ECTIS. So we usually used to say NARIC, but it's no longer NARIC, it's now called ECTIS. And ECTIS is the body that assesses the degree that you have. So whether it's an undergraduate degree or a master's degree, whichever postgraduate degree it is, it will usually be assessed by ECTIS. But in terms of, for instance, saying whether your degree meets the required skill level. So, for instance, they are looking for somebody who can meet a required skill level of level 3, for instance, and you've taken an undergraduate degree in, let's say, nursing, or you've done some
Okay.
sort of diploma in nursing, and you want obviously to find out if that will be enough in making your application. Once you've made the application, they will look at the qualifications you have, including whichever form of undergraduate degree or diploma or whatever it is that you have, and they will assess. So, if, for instance, you worked as a nurse for the past 5 years and all you have is a diploma, they can assess that to see if it will meet that required skill level that is needed for the job. And so, even in this country, when you want to be a teacher, you have to do the PEGC course, I think, and
Yes.
that in itself is a degree in itself. So you don't necessarily have to have done an undergrad degree to be able to do
Mm.
that
Mm.
course. And so, of course, we're not saying that somebody would need an undergrad degree, but they would need some form of skill level to the point that they will be assessed as being eligible for that job. So if you think that, well, I've been a nurse for the past 5 years and I have a diploma in nursing and I want to try and see if I can get this job, they will assess you. So whether
Right.
it's the care home or whatever it is, they will assess to see if the qualification that you have from your country um, meets that required framework level to be able to come into the UK, for instance, and also qualify as a nurse here. It might not be the undergraduate degree that you would expect here in the UK, but they are just looking at that required skill level that is needed for the job.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just join us, this is Hanging Out with BWF Solicitors. If you would like to contribute or ask your questions, you can do so on all our social media handles at BWF Solicitors. Please share to all your contacts and anyone that you feel this will be of benefit to. If you prefer to contact us live on the program via phone, call us on 0744 711. The number again is 0744 711. I would love to hear from you. Lawyer Eunice, is it expensive to put in such an application? Or
Well,
is it this?
well, for most people, I would say no, because compared to the application fees that I see some of my clients paying, it's not as expensive as some of the fees that I see my clients paying. Especially because the shortage occupation means that those people who are working in that industry, there is more demand. So they have minimized the fees so that it is not hefty fees that people have to pay in terms of their applications. And so, whereas somebody might be paying £700 for a skilled worker visa, somebody who is applying under the shortage occupation list, once they do their online application, they'll be paying a reduced fee. And so, it will depend on the should I say the number of years that they need for the visa. So
right.
there is the 3-year visa, and then there's the more than 3-year visa. And so, if for instance you were applying for a 3-year visa because the contract that you have is only going to be for 3 years or less, then of course you'll be paying a reduced fee of about, I think, £232 for the application. But you would also have to pay for the IHS. So anybody who is coming into the UK and is not coming with indefinite leave or is not coming as a visitor has to pay IHS. And so you will also have to pay the IHS fee, which is £624 a year for adults. And so, of course, you will have to consider that as well. So if it's a 3-year contract, then you are looking at over £1,500 for the IHS, including the fee for the application. Let's just be reminded that those who are applying specifically for a health and care visa will be exempt from the immigration health surcharge. So they would not have to pay for any immigration health surcharge. And so that is a further reduction for them alone. And then, of course, people that are within the EU. So if you're an EA national or somebody who, of course, is deemed to be a Swiss national, so an EA or Swiss national, will also pay that reduced fee as well, because they want as many people within the EU to also benefit from this as well. So yes, if you are somebody who is applying for a job under the shortage occupation list, your fee is reduced as well. And like I said, it's either for a 3-year contract or more than 3-year contract. If it's for more than 3 years, then you'll be paying about 430 something pounds. So yes, there is that reduced fee for those who are working within that sector.
Okay, so how about putting in a fee waiver for especially the HGV drivers, since we need them urgent in the UK?
So for them, especially the ones that will be
Just
carrying
to attract them.
because they are coming on a limited how do I call it, a limited visa as a
Yeah.
seasonal worker, they don't have to pay IHS. So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
visit
All right.
visas.
All right.
So those who carry who are coming to the UK as a visitor or are going to come on a visit visa, they don't have to pay IHS because they're only coming on a visit and they're leaving. And so
Mm,
because that is only for a short period of time, they don't have to pay IHS.
mm,
Usually it will be for somebody who is applying to come here for more than a year. So if your visa route, for instance, requires that you are going to come and live here for more than a year, then of course you might have to check whether you have to pay the IHS. Um,
mm,
that being said, of course, there are also visit visa routes that will give you more than 1 year on your visa route, but it will have that restriction where you can only come for a period of 6 months and then you will have to return and then come back again. But then, depending on which category of visa routes that you are applying for, you
apply
just need to check whether the IHS is applicable to you.
for-
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Lawyer, I've got Pokua wants to ask you this question. Please, lawyer, I was able to get in contact with an agency who are looking for care workers. They will help find a job as a care worker in the UK. Once I get the job, which documents will I need for the application?
Okay, so Pokia is saying that she's got a job and she's trying to find a job, I guess, with an agency. And of course, I think that agencies are a very good way of finding a job quickly. Whereas if you're doing it independently, it will take a very long time.
Long time.
So if you have an agency that is helping you find a job, it makes it a lot easier because they have the contacts, they have the links. They will just put your CV to the contacts that they have. And then, of course, if the company or the business wants you to come for an interview and the rest, then of course, you know that you've gone through the whole job search process easily. So, yes, if the agency is willing to help her find the job and she is given a job offer, then fantastic. In terms of making the application, one
Yes.
thing that I also know is that because most of the people who make these applications also have help from the agencies that they will be applying for, they too will help in terms of what they will need for the application. So, first of all, like I was saying, you need a certificate of sponsorship from the employer. So that certificate of sponsorship should be able to show that you've been employed for this role and that this role is going to be for a period of, let's say, 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. And then it will also state what the employer's reference number is. It will state what um, the employer will be paying you as well. So that certificate of sponsorship will be the first document that will be needed in terms of making the application. When it comes to things like your form of ID, definitely you should have your valid passport.
Yeah.
Um, so valid passport means that it hasn't expired. You should also be able to show that, of course, as somebody who is coming from outside of the UK, you haven't had any criminal records whatsoever. So they call it a criminal record certificate. Whereas in the UK, we call it a serial B check. So you should be able to show that you have a criminal record certificate, which shows that you are good to go. You haven't received any criminal records whatsoever. If you are from a country like Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, which is known to be at risk of having tuberculosis, you will have to undergo a tuberculosis test to be given a medical certificate which says that you have no tuberculosis. And so you will also have to produce that tuberculosis medical certificate where necessary. And then in terms of, for instance, the fact that she will be somebody, I'm not sure if she has a diploma, undergraduate degree, if she hasn't got any qualification whatsoever. Of course, then I'm not sure why she'll be applying for the job.
Mm.
But if she does have some form of undergraduate degree or maybe a diploma even, then I would say that, of course, that in itself should be used whilst applying for the application. And then in terms of the English proficiency or her ability to speak English, either that she's done the IELTS, which is a way of assessing whether a person can speak English, or she would have had to have an undergraduate degree, which will be assessed by ECTS. And then, of course, if ECTS says that, of course, her English proficiency is at the required level, then that should be okay in itself. Then she will also need to be able to apply with her job offer that she has, which shows that she's applied for whichever job that she's going for. And then if there's any other relevant document that she thinks she can add to the application, she can go ahead and add her other documents. But I would also say that in terms of making this application, they also require that the person will have some form of maintenance in their account, because when you
Account.
come, you wouldn't be able to get your first pay until, let's say, the month is over, unless your employer is saying they are willing to pay you very early on, before the month is over. But they want to see that you have some form of maintenance in your account, and that is about £1,262. And so, of course, if you are making such an application, you have to also provide your bank statements to show that you'll be able to maintain yourself for the first few weeks before your pay comes in as well. So it helps in terms of making the application. So yes, she will need her ID, which is her passport, her criminal record certificate. She will need tuberculosis medical certificate if she's from a country where tuberculosis people are at risk of tuberculosis. She will need her certificate of sponsorship, which also has the reference number. She will need her bank statements. Of course, any undergraduate degree or diploma that she may have as well should be added to that. And then if she's done an English test, such as an IELTS, she will
Yeah.
need to include that as well. Yeah.
So, Eunice, who is held responsible should the applicant arrive in the country, then in a couple of months abscond?
So if, for instance, she comes to the country with the skilled worker visa and then
Yeah.
she doesn't do the job, the employer is the one that has to inform the Home Office as soon as possible that
Right.
she is not working in the company. So the employer is the person who is responsible for informing the Home Office if the worker or the employee does not turn up to work. Yeah.
Okay, so the employer will not be penalized if
No,
they have to report as soon as possible.
no, they wouldn't be
Right.
penalized for that because
Okay.
they are responsible for making sure that those checks are done in the first place. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. This question has a second part as well. She says, so can I also include my husband and two children in the application, or does she have to come first? Then dependents follow, or she can do all of them together.
Well, they can do the application together. It depends on whether she's thinking, I want to come and find a place and I want to be settled before I come with them. So I'll explain it in those two different
Right.
scenarios. So, for instance, if she was making the application and she has her certificate of sponsorship and she thought, okay, I want my husband and my two children to come with me. So I'm going to put in an application for them as well because they will need her certificate of sponsorship reference number when they are making their application. So she can put in the application for both her husband and the children at the same time. So that when she's granted, they would grant her husband and the two children in line with her visa. So if she's given a period of 3 years, they will also be given a period of 3 years as her dependents. So, of
Okay.
course, if she were making the application from outside of the UK, she can make the application together with them. In terms of making it from the UK, so she's in the UK now, she's got a job, and now she's thinking about bringing over her husband and her children. If she still has the job with the same company, her certificate of sponsorship reference number will be what she will still give to them to make the application. So, as I said, if she's got 3 years, whatever she has will be given to them as well. So, if she has a remaining 2 years or she's left with the remaining year and a half, when the visa is granted to her husband and children, they would only have a year and a half on that visa. So that means that when they are paying their IHS, which is the immigration health surcharge, they will be paying a reduced fee. So they have a way of reimbursing the rest of the money back to them. So, for instance, if it's a job where they have to pay the IHS directly on the website. So it will say this is the amount of IHS you have to pay. So once the visa is granted, the visa will be granted in line with the person who is here in the UK. And then if they realize that the visa was only granted for a short period of time, then any subsequent payments or any payments in regards to the IHS which was made, the subsidized fee should also apply to them. And so they would have to reimburse them back with a certain amount of money depending on the period of time that the leave is for. So, yes, the application can be made for her husband and the children while staying in the UK or before she comes to the UK on her permit or her visa that she's granted.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us and you are wondering what is going on here, you are at the right place at the right time. And this is Hanging Out with BWF Solicitors. Today's topic is steps to applying for a job on the shortage occupation list in the UK. And with me is Eunice Achampong, who is a partner and also a solicitor at BWF Solicitors, taking us through, what this topic entails and the necessary requirements to make this application. If you would like to contribute or ask any questions, do not hesitate. You can do so on our BWF Solicitors Facebook page and all our social media handles. And if you prefer to speak to me live on the show, you can do so by calling me on 0744 8619 711. The number again is 0744 8619 711. I would also entreat you to please share to all your contacts and also colleagues, loved ones, and anybody who you believe this discussion would be of benefit to. Lawyer Eunice.
Hi.
Wow. Um, right. I've got Richard. Richard says, I have leave to remain as a student and I will soon be applying for a graduate route visa. Can I apply to switch to the worker route as I'm looking for a job as an engineer?
Yes. And I think the fantastic thing about this graduate route is so that it will allow employers to be able to basically get these students into work as soon as possible. So, um, for instance, those that have come from whichever country that they've come from and are looking to actually live and work in the UK, this is a good opportunity for them because the graduate route offers 2 years, 2 extra years after your degree is over and you've graduated. And then I think for PhD students, it offers them 3 years. And so, of
Yes.
course, if you have 2 years to look for a job and get a job and you don't use it wisely, then unfortunately, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So of course, if he's found a job within that period of time, he can obviously switch. And so he has to make sure that it is not a job which is just going. So,
Right.
a lot of people think, okay, once I've applied for any job, then it should be fine. It's not about applying for any job, it's about applying for a job under the skilled worker route. And if the employer is not a license holder who doesn't have a sponsorship license, then unfortunately, they will not be able to sponsor you on that skilled worker route.
Mm.
So you're looking for an employer who is also a, a license holder or who has a sponsorship license to be able to help you get onto that route. So, yes, if you are a student and you're on the graduate route, definitely you can make the application to the skilled worker route as long as you have a job offer from a sponsored license holder and the job that you are applying for in itself is also a job that is listed on the government's eligible occupations.
Right.
And of course, once you say you're a student, they have concessions available. So even though the government has said that they would require a minimum salary of at least 25,600 on the skilled worker route, there were some concessions in terms of how much an employer can pay somebody who is a graduate or somebody who is under the age of 26. So
Okay.
they know that even if, for instance, within the engineering sector, which is also one that is listed under the short occupation route, there are those that will not receive the same salary as those within the same job market. Paid job or same role. So,
Okay.
of course, if you're a student and you find a job and your employer is telling you, I'll pay you 70% less than what is being paid to somebody who is doing the same job as you,
Mhm.
it's still okay because you will still be able to um, meet the requirements that are necessary in terms of the sponsorship application or the skilled worker application that you'll be making. So, yes, that in itself is also a good way of looking at it. So, employers will benefit, and so would the student who is here in the UK as well. So, you have the benefit of switching to a route whilst here in the UK rather than going back home to make the application.
Oh, okay. Right. Laura Eunice, how about somebody who, you know, gets a job, comes over on the ticket of agency A,
Mm,
right? And working with them for between 3 to 6 months,
mm,
is given an offer in another company in the UK, offering
mm.
probably twice or higher what he's currently, being paid. Can
Receiving,
that
yeah.
person jump from that company that originally brought the
Him.
applicant over to this country to another company that initially didn't, take part or apply for that
Yes.
come over?
Yes. So if, for instance, a person finds a better job and they
Mm,
believe that they would like to stop with the job that they are currently in to take the offer from the other job, that
yeah.
would mean that that person will have to apply for a new visa. So maybe they have
Oh,
two
right.
years. Yeah. So maybe they have 2 years left on this current visa. No, you will have to apply for a new visa because now you will have a new certificate of sponsorship. The Home Office will
Right.
need that reference in order to grant you a new visa. So, unfortunately, you can't just change jobs just because somebody is offering you a
Mm,
better
mm,
salary. If
mm.
you want to change jobs, that means that you also have to apply for a new skilled worker visa or leave to remain in the UK. So that would mean that the employee now has to make a new application to be granted leave to work for that particular employer. Unfortunately, you can't just switch employers just like that. Yeah. And then, of course, the current employer will have to inform the Home Office that you no longer work for them and
Exactly.
you've moved on and the
Exactly.
rest of it.
Exactly.
So, because all of that information will be relayed to the Home Office, the right thing has to be done. You can't just switch employers. You have to inform the Home Office by making a new application. And then the old employer, which is your current employer, will also inform them that you no longer work for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I've exhausted all my questions. So Laura Eunice, if there's anything else you would like to tell us, or if possible, summarize what we've discussed today, for the benefit of someone who just joined us, at this, and getting to the end of this show.
Yeah.
May I also say that if you just joined us, don't be disappointed. This program, we have a pre recorded on Facebook. So you can take your time this evening and go on BWF Solicitors Facebook page. We've got all the recorded version there. Sit, relax, and just listen to what we discussed today. So, Lawyer Eunice, to summarize.
Thank you. So, in summary, in regards to what we discussed today, looking at what a shortage occupation work visa looks like, that would mean that you have to apply to a job within the education sector, which is usually for people who are teachers within the secondary education sector and have some sort of experience teaching maths or some sort of experience teaching physics or IT or more modern language. And then specifically for those within the science industry, if you are a lab technician, a biologist, a physiotherapist, a psychiatrist, even, there are other jobs that I would not be able to mention. All these jobs are jobs that come under our shortage occupation list. And then you have those that are within the technology industry, those that are within the engineering industry. All those jobs come under our shortage occupation list. And so, of course, if you think that you have a job that you're currently doing under this route, and you are living outside of the UK and you think that maybe you can apply to come to the UK under any one of these routes, then of course do do your research, find out if there are any jobs going in these areas, make that application and see whether you'll be able to be given a job offer. Once they give you a job offer, they should also give you a certificate of sponsorship. So once you're able to get onto um, the ladder, as in you are able to get the job, then of course you'll be assessed whether you also can speak English. And then of course, once you are somebody who can speak English, even the required skill level that is needed will be assessed before you are given that certificate of sponsorship. So all these things will be required from you once you are able to show that you are somebody who is able to do the job at hand. Saying this, of course, you can also make the application for your family members to join you here in the UK. And once you have the required fees to be paid for the application, including our immigration help surcharge, you should be good to go. Making this application should not be too difficult. So, yes, in terms of our shortage occupation skilled worker route, once, of course, you meet all the eligibility requirements, making an application should be fairly straightforward. And then, of course, if you need our assistance in terms of an application such as this, do not hesitate to contact us as well at BWF Solicitors, fourth floor of Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, and the postcode is N154NP. Our office telephone number is 0208 493 7340. So it's 0208 493 7340. And of course, our offices are open from Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Eunice. I would like to also announce that BWF Solicitors will also have another legal education program today between 4 and 6 p.m. live on this platform on Facebook. And the topic for this afternoon is bringing a child to the UK, meeting the serious, compelling, and family circumstances. And the guest is also a solicitor at BWF Solicitors, Mr. Charles Asma, and the host is Mr. Frempong. So I will entreat you to join and also listen to this program as well, 4 p.m. live on Facebook today. Lastly, we would like to take this opportunity on this platform to send our condolences to the MP who was stabbed yesterday in the person of Sir David Ames. Um, we want to send our condolences to the family. Our prayers are with you at this difficult time. Right. I'm just speechless. I don't know. Laura Eunice, just quickly, what do you say about this, unfortunate incident?
I think that, of course, this is such a sad situation because not many people agree with the views that a particular MP may have. And instead of going through the civil way of disagreeing with somebody, some people may go to the extreme extent of physically abusing or even killing somebody is the worst approach. And obviously, we do not want to condone such behavior. And therefore, anybody who was the perpetrator in terms of this obviously has to be brought under the full regime of the law. And things like this should not be going on. You can't just be stabbing people because maybe you disagree with them or you dislike them or whatever it is.
Mm,
You should have the proper means and channels to disagree with somebody without having to
mm,
physically harm them.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Well said, Laura Eunice. Well said. I think it will get to a time we will all have to, have security guards, even solicitors as well. If this doesn't go right, and the
And
person, I
criminal
mean,
lawyers
this isn't allowed,
literally go
Serious,
and
I'm
they go
thinking.
through this almost all the time. I
You
mean, to do
understand? The
criminal law,
verbal abuse can
yes,
escalate to
yeah,
something else.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see,
And you're only doing your job, but somebody will see it as something that you're doing to them personally. And
personally.
things like this should not be taken personally. It is
Mm,
a job
mm,
that this
mm.
person is doing. And so you can't take certain things into your own hands.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody who is working for a government agency or within the government should undergo anything like this
yeah.
because unfortunately um we don't have an American system where, for instance, when you're in a certain position, you should have bodyguards all
That's what I'm
around
thinking
you.
because including yourself as solicitors, you work, with the community, and you can't ascertain who has the right frame of mind walking into your
Oh
office,
yeah, yeah,
for an
yeah,
advice. And
yeah,
same as these MPs, he was just doing his community service. As an
yes,
MP, people in that locality can
yes,
straight away,
yeah,
even if you can't walk in straight away, they have surgeries where you
yes,
can just go in and discuss your concerns and things like that.
yes, yeah.
And but
And
you can't assess everybody's mental
no,
capacity.
and so you wouldn't think or imagine that because you are in that role, somebody will have the audacity to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
come and physically harm you because
Mm,
of the fact that something is being done that they disagree with. And it's really sad. It's really sad. And I, like you said, our hearts go out to the family and those that are grieving at this time. Yeah.
Wow. I think we will always have to pray for you guys. Put you in
Oh,
prayer for
it's
God's
not.
protection, because
Yeah.
this is not something that we
Yeah.
want to hear happen to
No.
anybody.
No.
Right. Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please take good care of yourselves. Let us all love one another.
Yes.
Those in authority, those
Yeah.
offering the services, offering help to the community. Let us please support them. If you have any grievances, there is a guideline, to go through. If you disagree whatsoever. So please, I'm just praying that we don't hear these,
Things
this
again.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. We are not taking it for granted. Yeah, with you, it makes this show very, lively and very successful. And I believe that you've taken a lot from this, today's show. Lawyer Eunice, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us every Saturday, to educate us and also impact us as well and guide us. So thank you. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, with me and Lawyer Eunice, we say take good care of yourself. Have a lovely weekend. We see you same time next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specializing in a range of legal services, including family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary and family law. At BWF, our solicitors are pleased to offer high-quality legal representation at competitive rates. Our senior partner, Bernardo Wusu, has over 29 years' experience as a lawyer in the UK. BWF Solicitors provide independent and practical legal assistance for all kinds of family matters, such as childcare, contested and uncontested divorce, and injunctions for domestic violence. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you in this difficult time, which is why we offer confidential advice delivered in a sensitive manner. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation in all family and matrimonial cases. Are you seeking advice on immigration-related matters? At BWF Solicitors, our immigration team are experts in dealing with everything from general immigration to complex immigration work permits, arranging student visas, as well as entry clearance visas, family visas, and appeals. Our senior partner is an accredited member of the Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel, which guarantees expert representation. Our office is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are located at 4th floor Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, London, N15 4NP. Just a short walk from 7